Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to begin with a question. Who here gets drained by energy? And I was going to ask you to put your hand up, but that's going to be really hard to see if you've not got your camera on. So you could put in the chat box as well. So put your hand up if you feel you get drained by energy. Or write in the chat box. Okay. So does anyone want to say why they've come on the webinar and what they want to get out of it? You can put that in the chat box if you want, or you can unmute yourself and tell me. I'm quite a lovely bee in it. It'd be good to speak to me. Okay, well, because of time, I'm going to hazard a guess that you're all here because you do or you used to get drained with energy and you'd like to know how to stop that happening. Am I right? Put your hand up if I'm right. Okay. Or I guess you want to understand more about how energy works. So, okay. What I mean by getting drained by energy is that if you ever had the scenario, someone's just asked me this question. If you ever had a scenario when you're really looking forward to meeting a friend, you know, you haven't seen them for a while, or maybe you've seen them yesterday, but you're really looking forward to it. You meet up in the coffee shop or the park, wherever you meet up, and you're feeling in a good mood, and you meet up with them, and when you say goodbye, you know, it's like your energy just goes. Zzz. Have you had that experience?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know I have as well. So what do we do about that? That's what this webinar is all about, and it's all about how to work with energy. So I'm just going to say a little bit about myself, if that's okay. So to give you an idea of why I am running this webinar. So I was born with the ability to read energy. I knew for as long as I can remember that I knew what other people's emotions were. I could just tell, I could just feel them. And I was lucky to know that it was their emotions and not mine. Now, psychologically speaking, I'm not meant to know that information because you're not meant to have the capacity until you're 3 years old to differentiate between what's yours and what someone else's. But for as long as I can remember, I knew. And I remember getting in severe trouble with my mother because I told one of her friends what she felt and it freaked her out and she almost ran out the door. So I have vivid memories of speaking up and saying what I could feel and what I thought, and being told off for it. So there you go. It took me until I was about 12 to realise that it wasn't natural. And I do this because, as you're going to learn in this webinar, it's very natural to be able to feel energy and read energy. And we can all do it. You all do it now, but you do it unconsciously. So let's make it conscious. Okay, so yeah, as I said, I've got a degree in psychology. I've been a therapist for 21 years. The reason why I work with energy is because it's the quickest, fastest, and best way of clearing all the unconscious garbage that you have, all the things that hold you back, all the things that stop you. And it's a direct way to moving forward in your life and creating the life that you want to live rather than the life you have to. So that's why I'm so excited to share this information with you. So, Frayna, did that answer your question? Do you understand what I mean by draining people's energy now? Is that clear to everyone? You can nod if you want to, or put your hand up. So, okay, cool, great. So, you know, in this webinar, because you guys have come live, and hopefully my computer will record that somewhere that you guys have come live, I will send you all a copy of my book, How to Work with Energy. Now, that book is going to contain a lot of the information that I'm going to speak about today and go into it in more depth, because obviously it's a book and I've only got a certain amount of time with you here on this webinar. So that's fantastic that you've came live, and I hope that you got the audios, and if you didn't, then let me know and I'll send you the audios for registering. So the most important thing to know is that you have the power to stop people from draining your energy. Your energy is yours, therefore you have total control and power over it. Nobody else does. You do. And I'll explain that in a bit more depth in a minute. But what I'd like to do is, at the end of the webinar, I'd like to tell you about a course that I've got. And most of the webinar, you're going to get free content, really valuable content. Then right at the end, if you want to take a step further with me, I'm going to tell you how to do that. Is that okay? Let me know that that's okay, guys. Great, fantastic. Lots of thumbs up and nodding and everything else. Love it. Okay, so why are you in power of your energy? You're in power of your energy because it's yours. And everybody's like a special car, you know, and I don't know if you remember that cars used to run on different oil configurations. I'm showing my age now. You had to put 2-star oil in, or 4-star oil, or with motorbikes 2-stroke or 4-stroke oil. Now, if you didn't put the right oil in, it'll blow up. It would be able to run for a little while, and it might seem normal, but eventually it would break. So you're like a unique engine. You need your own energy to run in a really good way. Now, if you use someone else's energy, because you can, and I'm going to explain how you do that, then you might feel good, or you might feel like shit. But either way, you're not going to be able to run their energy for long. And that, you know, that's when you get ill, that's when you feel drained, that's when you feel exhausted. So how you know what you're doing with your energy, one of the best ways to know what you're doing with your energy is to ground yourself. Who's heard of grounding? Put your hand up if you've heard of it. Okay, so grounding is basically you get in touch. Well, the way I teach grounding, because I teach it differently, and your audio is all about that, is you get in touch with your body. You actually get in touch with the earth. You feel the whole of your body, and you feel your connection with the earth. Now, you're always in connection with the earth, but you just bring your conscious awareness to that connection. And what that does is, when you bring your conscious awareness to your body and the connection with the ground, is that the energy coming from the ground is more. So you actually get even more energy. So, okay, anyone that didn't get the audios, because I'm getting messages, that's great. I'll send them to you. Just ping me an email and let me know, because I don't know if all this text will be saved or not. Because I've never ran a webinar with those people before using my own connection. So it will all go well, though, I promise. So how and why do we take on people's energies, and how do they take on our energies? Well, again, it's completely natural. It happens all the time. Have you ever been walking down the street, minding your own business, and suddenly you felt someone behind you? Who's had that experience? Yeah? Or you go into a room, and it might be a party, it might be an office meeting, it might be a shop, and you can just feel the atmosphere. You have a sense of what's happening in that place. Do you recognize that? Well, that's energy, and you're reading energy. So congratulations. See, you've all had an experience of reading energy, and that is what's happening. Now, we are normally exchanging energy all of the time. Why? Because we're energetic beings, and everything's energy. The problem is when we have matching energy. And what I mean by matching energy is it sounds like it says you have exactly the same energy as somebody else. So, for example, let's just take football teams. You support the red team and you're with somebody else that supports the red team. Therefore, around supporting football teams, you're going to have the same energy. Makes sense, right? That's matching energy. But matching energy also happens when you're in opposition with the person. So you support the red team, but you hate the blue team. And the person you're talking to loves the blue team, hates the red team. So you're going to instantly go into each other's energy fields. Why? Because you're going to try and convince the other person to think how you do. So let's give a practical, real-life example of that. You're talking to somebody and suddenly you feel like they've invaded your space. Have you had that experience? Yep. That's because they've literally, and I mean literally because it literally actually happens in reality, that people jump their energy from their space, boom, into yours. And what happens then? You instantly send your energy, boom, into their space. So that's an energy exchange. But this is an energy exchange that's happening in a way that is natural but not comfortable. And it's happening because you want to manipulate the person. Or if you both got matching energy, you both like the red team, it's because you want to go, hey, well done, we're the same. We both like the same thing. So that's matching energy. And that is why the normal exchange of energy goes wrong. When there's matching energy, what that means is the other person can leave their energy in your space and you leave your energy in their space. So what's the problem with that? Naturally, you have a conversation, you exchange energy, and when you say bye, ciao, whatever your language is, then you'll walk away and your energy will come back to your body and their energy will go back to their body, and that's it. Nice, clean break. Thanks very much. Goodbye. You've separated the energies again. But when you match energy, that break doesn't happen. Your energy stays in their body and their energy stays in your body. So how do you stop that happening? The number one rule is knowing what you're doing with your energy. And knowing what you're doing with your energy, it's a good idea because a lot of energy that people have is emotionally based. It's what's going on with their emotions. It's what's going on with their own being. It's what's going on with what they're feeling. So for you to know what you're doing with your energy, that's where grounding comes in. You ground, you take a moment, you feel your body, you get rooted into the earth, and you feel what's actually going on inside of you. What are you feeling? What are your emotions? What's all that rubbish, often it's rubbish, going on in your head? Where's your energy going? Where's your attention going? Because that saying that sounds rubbish, but it's actually true, where your attention flows, your energy goes. So if you're always thinking of an ex-partner, you can't let go of that ex-partner because you're always thinking of them. You're literally holding on to them. You've literally got probably some, if not a lot, of your energy in their space. And that's not good. So when you ground, you get to know what you're doing with your energy and where it's at, because where it's at is where your attention is, where your moods are, where your feelings are, where your emotions are. Now, so it's a really good idea to clear that energy. If it's not exactly what you want, if you're not enjoying your life, if you're not getting up out of bed and going, hey, start of a new day, then the chances are your energy is in places where you don't want it to be. So ground, become aware of that. And that awareness is really good for setting up the rest of your day to be perfect. But it may be you're in the position you don't know what you're doing with your energy. You don't know where it is. You don't know what you've done. So a good way to do that is to clear your energy. Now, we all have a space around us, and a lot of people call it their personal space. And for some cultures, for the English culture, your personal space is generally within 4 feet all the way around you. And when you're not feeling comfortable, it's a lot closer. And in other cultures, you know your own culture, it might be bigger than that, it might be smaller than that. So does everyone understand what I mean? Your energy field is basically your personal space around you. It's literally the space in which your energy comfortably expands to all around you. Does that make sense? Yep, does that make sense? Yeah, great. Lots of nods and thumbs up, so it's all good. So you can clear your energy space, because imagine if you never washed your hands. Imagine how much rubbish would be on your hands. There'd be a lot, right? You wouldn't have the size hands you've got. You'd have massive, great, dirty gloves on your hands. You know, I'm glad someone's laughing and finding it funny. But it's true, because you've never been taught to clean your energy field. So imagine how much rubbish, how much shit you have in your energy field. When I start working with people, one of the first things I do, sometimes before I even talk to them on the phone, is I clear their energy field so I can literally peek in and have a look about what's happening inside of them. You know, it amazes me how many intellectuals I work with. And I find a book about psychology, I find a book about permaculture, I find a book about physics, you know, whatever they're into, photography, whatever it is, I find a book in their space. And sometimes I stop and read the book because I'm also interested. And I'm not joking, I'm being honest here. You are taking energy, information, data from people all of the time. 40 billion pieces of information comes to you every single second. Your brain deals with 2,000 pieces of information every single second. You are only aware of 5 of them, if you know, and I mean consciously aware of them. But guess what? You can only have one thought at any one time. Therefore, only one of those things is actually getting through to your conscious brain and creating a reaction, a response. Now, that's a whole new webinar. What's the difference between a reaction and a response? But it's very worth knowing. But if you've got loads of stuff, loads of crap in your energy field, that is what people are seeing first. Have you ever had the experience where you've met somebody and instantly, just instantly, you don't like them? You know absolutely nothing about them, and you meet them and you can't stand them. Like literally, you don't want to be anywhere near them. That's because they've got energy in their energy field that you recognize and you don't like. Somebody in your near past, or way when you was a baby, or somewhere in between, had that same energy and they hurt you. Or they have the same energy as your mother and you, at that particular moment, didn't like your mother, so you didn't like them. Or they have the energy of an ex-partner. Ex-partner, pain, that's it, not go near them, don't like them. That is energy matching. That is you reacting to energy matching. You're reacting to energy that's in their energy field. Now, I'm going quickly, but hey-oh, you're going to get the book, and all this is wrote in the book, so hooray! So don't worry about it, just enjoy it, take in the information, and you can read the book to really thoroughly get to know stuff. So how do you clear your energy field? You use an exercise called Magnet in the Lake. A magnet in the lake is an amazing exercise. It's a visualization. Don't worry, people say, boy, I can't visualize. Well, that's probably not true, but if you still believe it is true, then just imagine that you can. Why? Because your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. Proof of that, you wake up from a dream, and for the first 5 minutes, maybe longer, you have no idea, did that happen? Did I say that thing to that person? Did they say that to me? And you're confused. You had that experience? Yeah, I doubt if I'm the only one, so I'm glad hands went up. And because your unconscious mind doesn't know any difference between imagination and reality. And guess what, guys? It's your unconscious mind that's running the show. Proof of that? 40 billion pieces of information reach your energy space, reach you every second. 4,000 of those actually, enter your mind. 2,000 of them get processed. What's cutting down these numbers? What's cutting down these numbers is the same thing that hates somebody as soon as you meet them. It's your unconscious mind reading the energy of it, making decisions based on your past conditioning. Conditioning is basically unconscious programming. Unconscious meaning what your parents, what your caregivers, what society, what school drummed into you, taught you, and you were just like a sponge, because we're all like a sponge up to the age of 7. Why? Because we need to learn stuff. We need to learn how to behave in the culture that we're born into. More importantly, we need to learn how to behave in the family that we're born into. It doesn't matter if you had a good childhood or a shit childhood, you still have to learn how to be with that family, because that, your survival depends on that. And that's really important. So it's your unconscious mind that's running your life. It's your unconscious mind that's deciding whether it wants to do something or not. So I'm just quickly reading the chats. Okay, Tracy, I'll send you it, no worries. Okay. So once you've cleared your energy field using the magnet in the lake exercise, it'd be a really good idea to set your energy field then, wouldn't it? Because your energy field, your space around you, is basically like an energetic boundary. And I'm not talking about protection here, because if you protect yourself against that energy exchange, guess what? You come across as wooden. You come across as frozen. You come across as a person that's cold or a person with no feelings. And nobody wants to connect with a wall. Protecting your energy puts up a wall. It literally stops people being able to connect with you, being able to interact with you, being able to share your energy. I've had personal experience of this, with other people, but one day, for reasons I won't go into, I decided to have my energy field small, and because I had it so small, nobody was interacting with me, and I wondered what was wrong with me. And it was only when everybody left, I was in a big auditorium, and I was just with my friends, and I relaxed my energy field. I wondered what I'd done. I'd brought in my energy field so close to me because I felt too overwhelmed. I'd just been traveling in New Zealand in a camper van. I hardly saw anybody all day long through my own choice. I was meditating a lot, and suddenly, wham, I was in this massive auditorium in Bedford giving a talk, and I just couldn't handle it. This was in my early 30s, and I just couldn't handle it. But because I was so busy consciously trying to do what I was meant to be doing, giving this talk, blah, 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 unconsciously, I was protecting myself. And guess what? Nobody really I didn't make many connections that day because they couldn't feel me. They couldn't relate to me. They couldn't feel my heart. So protection, put it out the window. Putting up boundaries, setting your energy field, that's great. That's what you want to do. That's the best answer. So all of this is in the book, like I said. Does anyone have any questions? If you've got a question, put your hand up and I'll unmute you. Or if you prefer, put it in the chat. Okay, cool. Oops. Ah. So don't do anything, Candida. Let me do it. Hey, what's your question?
Hi. Yeah, thank you. I was just wondering if I missed something because I'm not sure about what is the magnet in a lake, or if this is in some preparation material that we were supposed to look at. And
No. The magnet in the lake is basically an energetic exercise to clear your energy field of any energy, rubbish that's not yours, or anything you no longer want.
And how is it done, or is this another topic?
It's all in the book, and I'm going to send the book to you. You get it free.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Anybody else? Hey, Inga. Yeah, you're unmuted.
Hi. When do I know when it's protecting and as a protecting energy and standing for the setting boundaries?
Okay.
Sometimes difficult, and I find it sometimes difficult to see the difference, because of course it's not black and white. It's like sometimes there are like fading borders, let's say.
Sure. So a quick answer would be, how do you know the different? Inga's asked, for anyone else that's finding it hard to hear her, how do you tell the difference between when you're protecting your energy field and when you're putting up boundaries? Your energy field is like the cells in your body. It's semi-permeable. It decides what it lets in and what it lets out. That's what semi-permeable means. It's a membrane that lets things go in and out, depending on your intention. So your intention is a conscious choice that needs your unconscious mind's permission to decide what to do. Once you've decided, and once you feel it in your heart, yep, that's what I'm going to do. So love, yeah, bring it on, let it in. Rubbish, anger, no, thank you very much. You can come to my energy field and fall away. So setting your energy field doesn't stop you from getting the data, i.e. that person's angry. It just stops the energy entering you. And that's really important, because it's good to know when someone's angry, and it's very good not to let that angry energy in. But by getting the information and being able to set your energy field, that works great. So we've only got time for, is that answering your question? So the book will help some more, and if it's not, you can ping me an email at any time. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? One more question. Okay, there's one in the chat. Could you please clarify again the unhealthy matching of energy versus the normal energy exchange? Okay, so energy exchange is completely normal. It happens all the time. When it becomes unhealthy is when we leave our energy in the person's body, or they leave their energy inside our body. So what I said right at the beginning is probably not clear. As soon as you notice somebody else has left their energy in your body, then that means that you have put your energy in their body. Maybe you've done it consciously, maybe you've done it unconsciously. But the first thing you do is you take back your energy, and then you give them back their energy. Now, this is a more detailed process that if you decide to do my course, I'm going to tell you about in a moment, I'm going to teach you. But, you know, now you just do the lake and the magnet. You just clear all energies out of your energy field. And then if you're still feeling that their energy is in your energy field, then you need to really have a conversation with your unconscious mind and ask it why you're doing that. Does that make sense, Raina? Cool. So is it okay now, because there's only 8 minutes left before it cuts me off, because that's the account I've got. If I tell you briefly about the energy intensive course that I've got. So is that okay? Or do you want to ask a question, Candida? Okay, I think so. Okay.
More than just a question is that if it cuts, we can come back to the same link, I think.
Not the way it's set up, I'm afraid, not today. Okay. Thank you. So, yeah, so I've been able to read energy my whole life. And I know what it feels like to be constantly bombarded with other people's energy. I know what it's like for people to dump their energy into your energy field. Lucky enough, I always knew how to clear it. So it was okay. But it was still very overwhelming to constantly be getting information, data, people talking to me energetically, wanting things, pulling on me. You know, that was just exhausting. So, you know, I can only imagine through the clients that I've already helped stop this. You know, it's really frustrating, draining, confusing to pick up on energy. And like Inga said, not really know if it's your energy or not really understand what's going on, not really understand, you know, how do you keep boundaries, but don't shut everyone off. All of that stuff is really confusing. So it's taken me a long time before I felt, in 11 years of being, you know, changing from pure psychology to really letting people know that I was working with their energy. Because before, people thought I was always just working in psychology. I wasn't. I was reading their energy and working with their energy. But if I would have said that in the National Health Service in England, I would have got the sack, or I would have got locked up and they would have said I was a mental patient myself. So it took me a long time to finally say to people, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. And I know it works. Give it a go. That was 11 years ago. So now I have loads of testimonials on my website about how awesome it is reading energy. So a quick personal story. I said that when I was 12, I just wanted to fit in. I didn't want all this information. I didn't want to feel everything I was feeling. I didn't want to know what was going on in everybody's home. I just wanted to fit in. I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to be a child, well, an adolescent at the time. So I decided to stop all my energy abilities and just throw them out the window. Do you know what? It was bloody boring. Life went from being technicolor to black and white. And I hated it. So it didn't take me long before I just turned on all my abilities again. Because honestly, you know, when you're living a life stuck in your head, stuck in your programming, you know, I don't know about you, but that feels pretty shit to me. You know, I wanted the freedom of being who I truly am, and who we truly are as energetic beings. We're feeling energy all of the time. We're working with energy all of the time. But a lot of us don't understand how to consciously do that. So this training is about teaching you how to consciously work with your energy. So what's the benefits of working with your energy? Life is a lot more exciting. Life's a lot more technicolor. Your health improves. Your creativity improves. And I have proof of all of this. Your enjoyment of life improves. Your actual energy levels go up, your physical energy. You have clarity. You have focus. You can decide on what you want to do and do it. Honestly, guys, it improves so much in your life. It's just fantastic. And how do I know this? Because I've worked with thousands of clients and there's hundreds of testimonials on my website. So I know that working with energy really is great. But imagine if you could learn how to work with your own energy. And if you could really understand how to work with your own energy and the energy of other people so you're not frustrated. And what this teaching will enable you to do, if you're already a therapist, and we would have to discuss what therapy you are and what that means, then you will be trained to work with other people. So this course is 4 months long, 15, 16 weeks. There's 5 different ways that I'm going to teach you in groups and one-to-one webinars like this, but there'll be hour-long webinars recorded. You'll get the recordings and everything else. And it's a really thorough training because I'm going to teach you what's taken me my whole life to understand what I could do naturally. And everyone's going to be able to read energy because I know you already do it. I just have to make it conscious. So to me, that's great. I can do that. And you're going to have so much fun. And like I said, there's lots involved in this course. It's very intensive, in meaning that you're going to get everything you need from it. It's not intensive as in draining or a lot of effort or anything like that. It's thorough. That's probably a much better word. It's thorough. And how do I know that? Because I've trained with a lot of, well, not a lot, I've trained with some energy masters, and they're not that great. So what I need to do, because it might cut out, so here's a link, everyone, and of course I'll send it to you as well by email. So if you want to buy, here's the link to buy. So please copy it, because it's going to cut us out in a minute. So it's on my website, and I'm going to send you it in the email anyway, with the book. So it's been really awesome to talk to you all. Thumbs up if you've had a good time and learned something. Okay, brilliant, fantastic. And the people that didn't have their thumbs up, maybe they felt stupid, but you got big smiles on your face, so that's all good. Okay, lots of love, everyone. It's really good speaking with you and being with you. And you'll get the email tomorrow, because I've had a really long... No, actually, do you know what? You'll get the email tonight. I'll do it straight away. All right, lots of love. Take care. Bye.